Welcome back to the Animo Show,
where the X is silent.
I'm your host, Anthony, and today I have a beautiful co-host, Harumi. This is my fiancé. So before we get into the movie review, we're going to go ahead and get to know her a little bit more, since she probably will be back. The movie for today is Army of the Dead. But let's get to know Harumi. What movie do you associate most with your childhood?
There's a two-side of things for my childhood because we definitely did watch Ghibli movies growing up. But then again, my mom watched a lot of animal-related horror movies like Anaconda and Snakes on a Plane, things like that. So I have memories of both, which is weird and
child movies and horror movies.
Yeah, I was scared to my core. But yeah, that's the movies I think of when I think of my childhood.
Sounds very similar to mine. Disney movies and PG-13 rated R movies. Rarely rated R. The next question I have is, so what are some of your favorite movies?
First, Princess Bride, that's for sure. It's really classic. It's true love. I could watch it when I'm feeling sad. It makes me believe in true love. So when I watched it for the first time, and then it's funny also, and then there's revenge. There's so many things that is happening, even though it's just like a romantic movie. Other than that, from the Ghibli, I watch most of it, but I like Nausicaä, the Valley of Nausicaä, the best. She was such a role model for me. I wanted to be just like her growing up. I wanted to have the glider that she had. I wanted to have the little pet thing that she had. I wanted to talk to a lot of bugs and know about the nature or trees.
I don't want to talk to bugs.
Yeah, but right now I'm scared of bugs whatsoever. But growing up, I thought it was really, really cool. So that's like one of my favorite movies. And also, this movie is not really big, but it's called The Garden of Words. It's a Japanese animated movie. It's done by Makoto Shinkai. His big movie that everybody knows is Your Name. He also have a new movie that is out right now too as well. He does everything like really, really beautiful. And The Garden of the Words is his movie that I watched, like first movie that I watched that he's done. The storyline is, it's kind of a love interest between the student and the teacher, which is not a good topic, but
they're adults though, so right?
He's like a high school, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a high school, but nothing bad happens. It's just like,
I think he just has feelings.
Yeah,
it's like
and then she has a feeling.
Yeah, I think it's like crush kind of thing, like they like each other.
And then just going to like what each other is like struggling throughout their lives and connecting through this garden that exists in Tokyo. But the scenery is just so beautiful. It's a lot of raining scenes because based on the rainy days that like when they met. But the rain, I don't know how he does it. Well, I mean, I'm sure he has a crew.
It's a like really nice aesthetic. If you listen to the YouTube videos that are like the fall asleep to the rain and like rain hitting water, that's like kind of the aesthetic of the movie for the most part. She was saying the animation is top tier. It's like so good that this studio tries to make everything look more lifelike. And it just looks really nice.
It is.
If you haven't seen it, The Garden of Words is a really good movie. Really good.
Yeah.
You'll probably cry.
Yeah, that's true. And it's shorter movies too, so it's like
I think it's like an hour.
A lot, yeah.
It's like a little bit over an hour, I think.
I want you guys to check it out too.
So my next question is, so what are some of your favorite TV shows?
I like comedies a lot. I like TV show that makes me laugh. I mean, this is my fiance and he always makes me laugh, so that should tell you everything.
Pretty funny guy.
Yeah. But the top TV shows that I love is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This, I watch it every... I don't know how many times I watched it, to be honest with you.
She's probably watched it like 3 times.
No, I think more than I could say.
Okay, so I have like partially watched this thing 3 times through, to the point where, so I don't watch the show with her. I just hear it while I'm like playing a game or like doing something on my phone, whatever. But I can pretty much tell you like what's going on. Like, I know about all of their lives. I know what kind of characters they are. I can say like, oh, this happens in this episode. Wait, is this the episode where they do this? And I have literally not sat down and actually watched the show.
Yeah, so that should tell you. That should tell you something. But I don't know. I just love it. It's just so funny, and I mean, it touches like serious points sometimes, but every character is on point, and I could watch it in the background, or I could watch it like when I'm feeling sad from work or like stressed out from work, and it just like cheers me up.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. I also like Psych. They are so funny too as well, and he's really smart. I like the relationship between the main characters, Sean and Gus. And another one that I like, it's an old one, but it's called Murder, She Wrote. It's something that I discovered through him, and I don't know, she's just so comfort to listen to. Yeah, and she's really smart, and she's somebody that you would want to know in your life, like your grandma or your...
Yeah, you would want her to be your grandma, pretty much. If you like the voice of the teapot in Beauty and the Beast, I don't know why I cannot think of that. Beauty and the Beast, then you'll like her, because she's the teapot's voice. Yeah, and she's just this witty, really smart detective grandma kind of thing. Yeah. And a lot of like, this is more associated to like older people. Like, I think in a lot of things they make fun of people for being like, if you're so old, they'll say you probably watched Murder, She Wrote or something like that. But it's just like that iconic. And I mean, it was on the air forever. If you haven't seen it, you should at least check out, a couple episodes. You'll probably like it. Yeah,
it has a lot of twists, and it's really well written that you can't really guess who's the culprit is, because there's like so many suspects with such a good motives, and you think it's the person A, and then when you watch it to the end, it's just actually person C that you didn't even think of, or you're like,
they mentioned like one time or whatever.
So I like it. It keeps me interested.
So which movie that I showed you do you like the most?
So this one has a special meaning, or different kind of meaning. I do like the movie. It's called the Lethal Weapon, but it's Lethal Weapon 4. The reason I like it is because his brother, Tony, is actually in some of the scenes throughout the movie. And he showed me the movie to show his brother to me. Not to show the movie to me. Because I have already watched the movie before. But I didn't know who the character was. So when he showed it to me, it kind of made me feel like I was really closer to him, and it's just something that I will never forget. So it's a really special movie to me.
And to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're curious, my brother is he is a cop. He has long, luscious black hair and a brown leather jacket. He's the Asian cop dude. He's his partner. You'll see him in a couple scenes throughout the movie. But yeah, that's my brother. Okay, enough about you. Let's get right into the movie review for Army of the Dead. Okay, getting right into it, we're going to start with the pre-spoiler review. Basically, this movie is about a zombie breakout in Las Vegas. A team of ex-mercenaries led by Dave Bautista, Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. He leads a team of people it's a heist. They're trying to get $200 million out of one of the casino vaults and get out. And that's basically what the generalized pre-spoiler review is, without me giving away any details.
So my first impression was, it's from the trailer and then also watching the whole movie. It's a crazy shoot 'em up movie for me. So it's not something that you watch it for the storyline. It just, you watch it because you like zombie movies, or you watch it because you just like a lot of like shooting or action involved. So that was like a first impression for me. Yeah.
Like outrageous action.
Yeah. How about you?
Okay, my first impression was it started really dumb. Like the outbreak starts really dumb. Basically, some guy and a girl are doing some explicit things in a car while they're driving. They crash into this escort of military people. The zombie gets out, and, you know, it basically started because of that. The other thing was, took a 180 from that being really bad to the zombie breaking out and then going to Vegas, and then they roll the credits, and throughout the credits it does something super cool where it's like showing you the events that happen leading up to where the movie starts, but in like such a cool way. So it'll have like a little small action of like go-go dancers like screaming for their lives while they get ready in the powder room or whatever. And then it will go to like military trying to evacuate people, and then it'll go to people fighting through the horde. It'll go to like a zombie eating like an Elvis impersonator. Like it'll just go through like these crazy things in Vegas, how it spread, and then leading up to something bad happening with Batista, and then them getting out, and then it goes to where the movie starts. I thought that was really cool. It's something that's not really done.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. There's a scene inside a vault in the casino where they're trying to get the money. But before the vault, there are multiple booby traps that it's set. And the nerdy kid who's... he seemed like German.
Yeah, he's like the German kid who's like breaks into locks and vaults.
So he's trying to figure out like what is the booby trap without getting himself killed. And him and another guy, the military guy, is using... And then also there's another, I think, gang.
The Mexican dude,
Yeah, gang guy. A person is like using a zombie and then walk the zombie through the booby trap to figure out what it was, and then also activate it and disable it. It was just so funny to me, because the booby trap inside this casino is just really extreme that you would see it in like Indiana Jones movie. There's some arrow coming out, or fire, or you know,
lasers.
Getting smashed.
Yeah, they smash.
And then it was just one thing's another one thing. Like the character will be like, "Oh, it's done now," and then all of a sudden there's another booby trap. So it was ridiculous, but it was really funny to see because of how ridiculous it was, and then also the characters' like reaction between like each other, and then also looking through the booby trap. Yeah. So that was.
It started off funny too, because it's like, the German dude is like trying to make calculations on how to figure out what these are and how they can get past it. And the Mexican dude, they're like going back and forth. Meanwhile, the military dude just leaves, and then he comes back with a zombie, and then he just like pushes the zombie out towards the traps. It was funny. It is one of the better scenes in the movie for sure.
How about you?
Okay, so mine was a mixture of like horror and badassery. Basically, when they get into Vegas, they have to go through the back entrance of this casino where there's like props and stuff used for like the shows that they would have. So they have to go through this back room, and it's like kind of tight, and there's like mannequins everywhere. And mixed in the mannequins, there's like zombies like hibernating. They're like asleep, just like standing though. And they have to maneuver their way through the zombies. And one of the chicks, she gets like sabotaged because they're trying to follow each other through like a line. So they were like dropping flares, making sure they keep a path. And one of the dudes threw a flare in the opposite way, so she gets killed pretty much. So he sabotaged her. But when she gets lost, the zombies start waking up around her, and then she goes straight John Wick. Yeah, it is pretty insane. Like, it's just a scene of her fighting through these hordes of zombies. Meanwhile, everyone made it out there safe, and they're like, where is she? There's like a pause, and you don't see anything. They look back, they don't see her. And then all of a sudden, they're about to walk away, and then she busts through this window with like zombies all around her. She kills the zombies, and then she dies.
Yeah, which was
but like
sad.
It was so badass. Like, that was probably the best action scene in the whole movie.
I agree.
Yeah. My biggest issue with the movie was that the storyline seemed really forced. There's a lot of plot holes throughout the storyline, which make it like harder to believe. I think within those plot holes and the storyline, it switches from being like to shoot 'em up, like take it as it is movie, to like having like a heartfelt scene and trying to give people backstories in depth, and then going back to being like a ridiculous shoot 'em up, and then going back to like trying to make a love story, and then going back to ridiculousness. It just flip-flops on a lot of things, and there's too many plot holes in between that don't hold the movie up for me. What about you?
For me, I mean, it goes with the plot hole too as well, is that Batista has a daughter, which he doesn't want her to come with him, but they made a whole scene about her tagging alone because her friend or somebody who she was caring for, the lady character, which is a mother, she went into Las Vegas the day before to get a couple of money so her and then her kids could live a better life, and they haven't come back, or she hasn't come back. So the daughter goes in with him to go rescue that lady. And they risk their life to go get the lady. A lot of people dies because of that. But in the end, we don't even get to see if that lady character survived or not. Mm-hmm. They don't show her at all. It was just forgotten, like, from the storyline. So that was just, why do we have that character or that scene or storyline to incorporate that? It didn't really make sense to me, and I didn't really like it because I wanted to know, like, what happened.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think the other ridiculous thing about that is the lady went into Vegas just looking for $10,000. Like, that's what she says. She's like, I just want to go in, and she like argued with Batista's daughter, like, don't go in. She's like, well, we need money. Like, I want a better life for my kids. We don't have anything now. I want to go in and get like 10 grand and then come out, and then we have a better life. And I'm thinking, like, when they're arguing about this, I'm like, 10 grand is like not really life-changing amount of money. You can't really buy much. Mm-hmm. Like, they're not going to college on 10 grand. Like, let's face it. There's not, like, what? She can get a car. She can get, like, a small apartment for a while.
That's
With
true.
gas prices now, it's insane. She wouldn't be able to drive that car for maybe a year.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. And then the fact that she was gonna get that money from the slot machine,
Yeah,
which
she
makes
said
a
a slot
lot of
machine.
noise.
Oh,
so
man.
I'm not, like, I don't know how that, like, you know, you can't make a noise because there's so much zombies, but slot machine is like one of the biggest.
Yeah.
You know,
Like breaking into the slot machine, you don't know if it's going to turn on.
Yeah.
You don't know, like, how hard you'd have to, like, break it open. Yeah.
And then it's all coins. So, like,
Yeah.
how are you going to get
Yeah.
$10,000 worth coins from the slot machine? It was just ridiculous. It was too ridiculous and too unfinished business for me.
Yeah. The other thing I thought was they tried to do, like, an alpha zombie thing where he can control the other zombies and he can tell them to go here or do that. But they made him, like, so overpowered. He was like some super soldier zombie. Basically, he's Captain America as a zombie.
Yeah.
That's like what they made him as. And then he has like this face shield thing that is bulletproof, so he can't get headshotted, so he can't die. I don't know. They just made him like pretty intelligent, super overpowered. And then with the face mask thing came everybody shooting at him to just shoot his face over and over. They wasted like clips on just his face that's bulletproof. Like after the second or third, maybe even the fourth bullet, would you not try to shoot him in the legs? Would you not try to like blow his arms off? Like, would you not try to like at least maim him or hurt him in some way? I don't know. I thought that was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, if they had like, because they seem like they had like a AK or something, or like a machine gun, they could go like straight across.
Like the neck?
Yeah. Tried to see if you could cut it off, but just like going straight to bullet. But yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't fight him hand to hand. He's like way too strong.
Like overpowered.
Like all of a sudden he's like a martial artist dude too. Because he's like fighting these ex-military dudes like easily. Like it wasn't even just about strength. He's like dodging hits. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I have another part that I don't like is they tried to incorporate like love romantic scene between David Bautista and his like lady friend that they've been like together or like friends for such a long time, and then she was in the mission with him, and then there's a scene that she confessed her love to him and he appreciates it, and then he tells her he loves her too, and it seems like it's gonna go well, but next thing you know, the elevator opens and she just gets killed really quickly. Instantly. Really bad. But it sucked because I like their relationship, and I like the fact that like she loved him, and then it kind of gives a purpose of him getting this money so he could have a better life, not for himself but with somebody he loved, because he lost his wife like in the beginning of the movie. So it like I thought it was this is good, like I thought I'm gonna see something else, but no, they just take that away from me. Yeah,
it is like, at this point in the movie, I was like, okay, I honestly don't care if all of them die. Like, the best relationship in that movie was the German dude and the black military dude. They had the best relationship in the whole movie, that you kind of don't want these characters to die because of that.
Yeah.
Bautista was, I mean, I didn't want Bautista to die because I like Bautista. I like him as like an actor and everything, and I wanted him to survive for that fact. His daughter could have died. I thought she was one of the most annoying people in the movie. Who else?
I don't know. There was
the Mexican dude. I thought he grew on me through the movie. Like in the beginning, he was like this annoying, cocky dude, and then he becomes like less of that and more like, oh, okay, I'll follow your lead kind of thing. And he's like the guy to support you. Like, I don't know. He became like the support guy throughout the movie. So I was like, okay about him. Like, he could live or die. This girl, literally, it's like one of the more heartfelt.
Yeah.
It's probably the second most heartfelt scene in the movie. And it's her basically telling him that she doesn't care about the money. She didn't come here for the money. She came here for him, and that's it. Like, that's the only reason she came. Risked her life for him. To be there for him. And she died immediately.
Yeah.
The second you're like, okay, I want her and Bautista to live now. Like, they have to make up for lost time now.
Yeah,
like they have to make it.
She's been waiting for him for such a long time. Yeah, and then also it was so ridiculous because they're waiting for the elevator to come so they could leave with the money that they have, but there's so much zombies, and with the elevator you don't know what's inside it. Like, there's no guarantee that elevator is empty.
Yeah.
But they were all completely off guard. Like, it makes a noise when the elevator is coming to you.
Yeah.
I feel like you will be getting ready even though you have a heartfelt moment, Yeah,
you're still on alert.
Yeah.
Because you're surrounded by zombies.
Yeah, it did not make sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, the camera. like the lens that they used or whatever. They did like this out of focus thing where it's like depth of field, where it would be like, it'd be clear here, but everything here would be super, super unfocused. And it would be like flare, like brightness, like around here. So you can, you know, when you like drive at night and you see like the lights and sometimes it's like kind of blurry in the distance.
Fuzzy.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, the whole background of the movie. It was like it focused here, and then if we're like this talking, it would focus on me, she'd be blurry, like super blurry. And then when she starts talking, then it would be like focused, like really tight focus, and then I'd be unfocused. And it was just like it was a really big headache. Like I had a really bad headache after the movie.
Yeah, same here.
So the first thing I would change is I would make more realistic shooting. Like every shot that these people were shooting was headshots. Every shot. They don't show them miss. They don't show them shoot them in like the body or the arms or whatever. It's all headshots from every single person. Not just like the military people. It's like the gangbanger Mexican dude is shooting headshots when he's running. The girl, like the John Wick scene, the chick says before they go in that she's never killed a zombie. And all of a sudden she's John Wick. I mean, it is the coolest scene in the movie. And because I was like under the impression like, this is like a shoot 'em up movie. It's like going to be outrageous, like stuff, like that's whatever. But the movie flip-flops to where you're like, okay, this is not a shoot 'em up movie. This is more like trying to be a serious action movie. So it's like, come on, where is the... like, meet us somewhere. It just kept flip-flopping between serious and then outrageous shoot 'em up. I don't know. I was kind of like upset about that. The other thing was just take out some of the plot holes. Like one of the biggest plot holes that I saw, the scene where they're at the top of one of the buildings, one of the casinos, and they need to go to another casino that's like at the other end of the strip to get his daughter, right? So they fly the helicopter off, they barely get away, the alpha zombie is there on the roof. They fly over to the other casino, right? They go down, they find his daughter, and this zombie, the alpha zombie, went all the way down that building. He didn't jump off the side, you know. He ran all the way down the building, rode his horse all the way down, his zombie horse, all the way down the strip, went all the way up to find the exact level that they're on, and he's there before they can get the girl and fly away.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty ridiculous to me.
I agree on that point because it doesn't tell you, like, they don't talk about getting the daughter in front of the alpha zombie, so, like, how would he know?
Yeah, because
like,
they just fly away. How do you know they just didn't leave Las Vegas?
Yeah, so that was really ridiculous. Yeah, and then also, like, I mean, same as the, like, you know, eliminating the plot holes, but, like, making the storyline more simple, because I think because they're trying to do the shoot 'em up movie and then also incorporating like a serious, like, heartfelt moment throughout, it makes the plot holes like more apparent than it will, like, it is if it was just a shoot 'em up movie. So I think it would be better if they just focus on getting the money. There's no like rescue mission involving this lady or anything, and then some of the plot hole, it'll be like it's like less annoying or like less apparent for us. And then also having a happy ending will be good to me, because this had a sad ending, which I did not care for, because everything else was so ridiculous. Like, you can't get into the emotional state of, oh, I feel bad. Yeah. Like, you know, or like, oh, I'm going to cry, because it was, by that time, you're like, this is so ridiculous. Like, what the hell is this? Yeah. You know? So, like, if you're going to have the shoot 'em up movie that has a lot of plot holes, then have a happy ending. So it'll be like, okay, there's a lot of part that it didn't make sense, But it was just a fun movie to watch, you know? So I think that would have been better overall impression of the movie and then how I feel about it. So that's like something I've definitely changed.
Yeah. You can't become emotionally invested in a movie that's like so outrageous. It's not even like 1% like I realize it's a zombie movie, like whatever, like that is the plot. But they switch between like you caring about people and giving them like emotional backstories and like emotional scenes. And then they'll go to the next scene and a dude's making like, sexual innuendo jokes. And it's like, okay, like can we pick like somewhere? Either you're taking yourself too seriously or you know you're a shoot 'em up movie. So you just need to be that.
I know, pick a lane. Yeah. I feel like if it was focused on a shoot 'em up movie, you could keep on some of the part, like the romantic scene, like love confessing scene. You could definitely keep that, or the vault scene that, like you know, the German guy and the Black Army dude is getting like their relation build up throughout the whole show. That was like totally fine too, because it was like really subtle. It's not like really forced, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that would have been
like,
much better.
They make like Batista, he's a badass dude, right? But in the movie, you're not really seeing a lot of that. They made him like so focused on his relationship with his daughter, which she's annoying as hell, to be honest. His daughter doesn't like him or whatever, or she's like put off by him because his wife died. Right? And his wife became a zombie and he killed her in front of the daughter. Which, if that's you have to think, first of all, you're like crushed, right? Your mom was a zombie. She died. Your dad had no choice there. Like, he had no choice whatsoever. You think he wanted to do... In the scene, he's like bawling, crying. And they want you to be like really emotionally invested in this scene and their relationship to try to get them back. But the daughter goes and becomes like a... I
don't know, nurse or helping out the people who lost their home because of
she goes and helps them. Thing. And he moves away and just works at some random diner. And you could tell he's like kind of like a broken person at this point. But she's blaming him for like leaving and like the way things happened and everything. And it's like, come on, like he just lost the woman that he loves. Like you think like you cared more about her than he did. He's known her for longer, for sure. That was his person, right? It's your mom, but he had no choice. Like I think you would cut your dad some slack and that would probably make you closer, right? Now it's just you two in a zombie apocalypse world, right? I don't know. There's just so many things that you just are so irrelevant with the movie. Which brings me to my next thing, is they should have changed the main reason to go to this place. So they have this billionaire dude who hires them originally to go to his casino to get this $200 million, which he's already been paid for. He's already been insured and paid that $200 million by the insurance company.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he cared about that measly $200 million. Later you learn that it's like an ulterior motive of him trying to get the alpha and try to make money zombies of control, like controlling zombies like a weapon to sell. Yeah. You learn that way later. By the point that you learn that fact, you don't care. All you think is, this is stupid. When you learn that fact, you're like, this is the dumbest thing I've seen. Like, why? They send this one guy, instead of just telling them, hey, we want to weaponize this, I will give you $200 million to get this zombie's head out of there and have them all on the same goal. He doesn't do that. Which is like insane to me that he'd put all his faith in this one person to get this head out of a zombie infested Vegas. That is like insane to me. The other thing is just do away with that story. Make it be like some worker that worked at the casino, that handled the money, that saw the vault, that had the codes to get to the vault. Make it be that person who comes to them and was like, hey, that Batista maybe got them out earlier in the movie. Give them like some like Like, oh, I remember you. You got me out. You saved my life. I could do you a favor. I see you're working in this crappy diner. Do you want to make $200 million?
Yeah.
Like, make it something else. This story of this billionaire caring about $200 million is like... And then he wasn't going to give them the $200 million. He was giving them $50 million.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just, like, insane. Like, insane.
Yeah.
Stay in your lane. Fix your plot holes. This would have been a great movie if they just would have chose, if it was going to be a serious action, or just to shoot him up, and then just make it as outrageous as you can.
Yeah, that would have been so much better. Okay, I grade this movie as D because going in, I already knew it was going to be a shoot 'em up movie. So that was like what I expected. But I'm not giving C- because they try so hard on putting like a serious thing that it was a little bit irrelevant, and it made the movie more worst. So D is my grade for this movie.
Okay. Mine is a D-. I would not watch this movie again. I'm actually pretty sad. I had like such high expectations, it being a Zack Snyder movie and Dave Bautista being like the lead role, especially it being a zombie movie. I love zombie movies. I was just really disappointed. Minus. That's what the D is for. Disappointment. Yeah, if they just cleared up some plot holes, made it like pick a side, like she was saying. Like, if you're going to be a shoot 'em up, be a shoot 'em up. If you're going to be a serious action movie, then be that. But this thing where it goes in between is like kind of, it's a little ridiculous. There's like a lot of unrealistic things that happen for me to want it to be like a shoot 'em up movie. But then they try to give heartfelt moments and backstories to everybody. Yeah, I don't know. It was a hit and a miss. If there was a zombie apocalypse, where would you go? Granted, you're finding out at home. What would you do?
I would first go to my sister's house, which is down the street, so I could make sure her and her fiance is okay, and then we could just get together and then go find a shelter from there.
I would go to a gun store. I think defense, having something to defend yourself with, is key to surviving, because I think in the beginning, if this ever happened, I think you'd be fighting people in the beginning. Like, I think you'd be trying to fight other people trying to survive. So I think a lot of people would just go crazy, as we've seen time and time again in movies and The Walking Dead TV show and things like that, is the zombies aren't, it's just one-dimensional. With people, you don't know who you can trust. You don't know if people are like being genuine or not. I think you always need to defend yourself in those scenarios. But on the way to the gun store, I'd be calling family, trying to set up like places, like a place to meet, making sure they're okay, and I don't know, just getting a whole bunch of supplies from the gun store. I'm sure gun stores don't just have guns, I think there's going to be like a Big Five type place where they have camping gear and stuff like that. So
that's pretty good.
I think that's the smartest choice, rather than going to like a Costco or something, because I'm sure there's a lot of people going to be there already. So, and tell me what you would do. Where would you go? Yeah, hit me in the comments. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Check us out next time on the next video.